Elias opened his eyes to silence, not the sterile silence of hospitals, not the heavy silence of loneliness, but the living kind, like the world itself was holding its breath. He lay in his bed, and the sunlight falling across the sheets wasn't ordinary sunlight. It poured through the window in perfect golden threads, soft, weightless, as though it had been woven for him alone. He rose, blinking against the glow, and stepped outside. The streets stretched endlessly clean, cobblestone warmed by the sun. Children's laughter rippled down the lane, and men and women walked with faces free of worry, free of hunger, free of whatever invisible burdens normally bent their shoulders. The air was filled with the scent of lilacs and fresh bread, though he couldn't remember living anywhere near flowers or bakeries. Neighbors smiled at him, not the thin, polite curving of lips he was used to, but something warmer, deeper, as if they knew him, as if they loved him, even before he spoke.
Good morning, Elias.
The name struck him. He hadn't told anyone his name. Something stirred at the back of his mind. Still, he walked on. The market at the city's center hummed with quiet joy. No one exchanged money. People gave and received freely.
Eat. A merchant pressed a crimson apple into his hand.
Elias bit into it. It was the sweetest, most vivid thing he had ever tasted. Crisp like breaking glass, rich like honey, sharp as a memory. It felt real, too real. And yet, the more he noticed the perfection, the more the edges wavered. The stones of the street were too precise, their corners too exact, as though designed, not weathered. The faces were too flawless, every smile aligned like brushstrokes from the same artist. When he glanced up, the sky stretched endlessly blue, not a cloud, not a wire, not a bird. This isn't possible. Night came too suddenly, with no in-between. He found himself on a hill overlooking the city. The horizon burned with molten gold, bleeding into the blackness of the coming dark. A girl sat beside him, dark-haired, eyes soft and knowing.
"You're wondering what this place is. You're wondering what this place is," she said, as if reading his thoughts.
Yes, it feels real, but it isn't, is it? Yes, he admitted, it feels real, but it isn't, is it?
"It's the world you've always longed for, a world without hunger, without cruelty, without fear." Her smile was sad. "It's the world you've always longed for, a world without hunger, without cruelty, without fear."
Then why do I know it's false? His chest tightened. Then why do I know it's false?
"Because you can't let go. Because you can't let go," she said simply. "Even in the deepest dream, a part of you still wants to wake." Her hand brushed his, warm, human, anchoring. "Even in the deepest dream, a part of you still wants to wake."
Elias felt the air tremble. The city below shimmered, its lights bending, folding in on themselves like reflections on disturbed water. A sound rose, low, metallic, intrusive, until he realized it was his alarm. And then, he woke, gray ceiling, flickering light, the smell of oil and rust, the weight of the real world pressing down like a vice. Outside, sirens screamed through a smoke-choked sky. The girl was gone. The golden horizon was gone. The apple's taste was ash on his tongue. He sat up, breath ragged, pressing his palms to his face, but something caught his attention. On his nightstand, an apple, crimson, dew clinging to its skin. His blood ran cold. He grabbed it, turned it in his hands. It was real. Too real. The silence of the dream came rushing back into his memory, louder than the chaos outside. It wasn't just a dream. His apartment walls shivered. A hum rose in the floor. For a second he thought the room would fold in on itself like the city had. But then, everything steadied, leaving him trembling. Elias didn't know if he was awake or still asleep. And that was the problem. The days blurred. Sometimes the world around him cracked, and he'd see flashes of that other place, the perfect world, behind the gray. A woman laughing in the street, a child's hand slipping into his with trust, a sky without wires. Then it would vanish, and the sirens would return. Each night he dreamed again. Each time the world was waiting for him, flawless, silent, impossibly alive. The girl was always there.
"You're trapped between dream and waking. You keep asking which one is real, but maybe that's the wrong question."
Then what's the right one?
"Which one do you choose?"
He woke again, if it was waking at all. The apple still sat on his nightstand. His hands shook as he picked it up. This time he bit into it. The taste was as crisp, as vivid, as impossibly real as before. And for the first time, Elias wasn't sure if he wanted to wake up again.